Hey guys, it's your girl Nana Fofia, and right now you're watching Yakasa TV. Make sure you stay tuned in because they're lit.
Morning is just to celebrate him, and also with his new album coming out, we're going to have the pleasure of listening to some great songs, new songs by Akon. So it's exclusive to all of you here, and we're actually going to ensure that it's going to be a picture opportunity. He's going to talk about his life campaign and all of that. So without much ado, I would like to say big thank you for coming. And also to the EIB network. This is it. It's a huge statement that we're ready for the world. We're going global and we're positioning ourselves. I see my team here. Thank you very much, guys, from Star and Live FM to John, Jermaine, Ace Broadcaster. Thanks so much for gracing the occasion. So I'd like to hand over to the man himself. He brought us Konvict, and clearly he's taking Africa to the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Akon.
But you often appreciate the fact that now the U.S. is actually now paying a lot more attention to Africa, which is amazing for us because I always felt like the unity between Africans and African Americans is going to be the key for Africa's people to be free. You know, I don't think sometimes even in the U.S., you know, how important the connection to their root is, and they oftentimes don't believe it or feel it until they come here. You know, because all the new visitors that's here now are super excited and wish they could have came a lot earlier. And was like, man, I didn't realize Africa was like this. You know, so it's always a good feeling when they come and give great praises to Africa, and they also recognize the powers that Africa has in themselves, because oftentimes as an African American, when you're in the U.S., you don't know what you're missing. You feel like there's something missing. I don't know what it is, but it just feels like it's something in my life that's just not complete. And when they come to Africa, they find that missing puzzle because it's more of a spiritual thing than it is physical. So it's often great times to be a part of just an acknowledgement of what their history is and being able to welcome them back to that history. So they've been taking a lot of, tours throughout the city. They went to the slavery marks and everything like that, and they're really getting the gist of, the beginning of how they even made it to the U.S. in the first place. So, oftentimes when they come, they have these crazy myths that U.S. history teaches African Americans about Black history, and they really don't know, until they come and realize it's nothing like how they was taught it to be. So it's always a great thing, man. The hospitality here, these guys are having such a great time. They can't stop eating the food here. They don't know why they love jollof rice so much. They're like, man, this rice is good, goddamn. But it's just amazing, man, to see that, and I think every year it's only gonna get bigger, and it's gonna get to the point where they're just gonna wanna relocate and just be here forever, because often, as you know, here, the troubles they're dealing with back in the U.S., they don't have to deal with it here. So if all their money, resources, talents, knowledge was all invested back home in Africa, we could rebuild this country in no time. So it's really gonna be a collaboration between the two worlds to make that work. But ultimately, man, just wanted to thank you guys for the amazing welcome that you guys always give me, the support, also that you give me worldwide to allow me to do what I do. And just know I'm always here working for you, man, so thank you guys for everything. The update is amazing, man. We just been kind of developing from where we left off. Just a lot. We was in 23 countries at the moment, so now we're just focusing on the countries that have the most challenges, to get more things to expand in those areas. But we also now are in America. So we started Akon Lighting America, which is not a lighting project per se, but it's an energy project where we are transforming the traditional way of using energy to renewable energy. So now we're doing a lot of solar in all the areas in the US. Before, solar wasn't really popular in the US as well because it was very expensive. But now everyone's trying to go into renewable energy because of the COP22 and the climate change. So we're being a company that they can assist to be able to transfer the traditional way of how they produce energy, but make it more clean. So that's where we come in. So far, we as we expand it, only makes it bigger for us now to come back into Africa and utilize those same tactics for the continent as well.
Wonderful. Future.
I thought it was a year of return. Well, I think it was for many reasons. Ghana I don't know, I think Ghana's been probably the most slept on country because of a lot of how the money's controlled today. There's a lot of inflation, and more than anything, the money's just not balanced. It constantly go up, it constantly go down. We don't have a stable dollar. And then for the countries that have an okay stable dollar, or as stabler as the natural, majority of those money is the country don't own, this body of French franc or something like that. that we don't control, that we don't print here, that we don't even have a say on as to how the value goes up or down. And the idea is to create a currency that we can trust ourselves, a currency that we distribute, and a currency that we can translate and utilize. So the A-coin is really more for our generation, saying old, out with the old and in with the new. Something that we literally can control, and it's under the blockchain, so there can be no corruption, there can be no stealing. You know exactly where that money's going from the moment you spend it to the moment someone else picks it up, deposit it, and move it. So you better follow the trace of every single dollar. And I think that's gonna be the key, because that's gonna stop all the dishonest transactions and trading that's happening in the country now that's allowing it not to grow.
Thank you very much. If you guys have any questions.
The good opportunities, I don't want them to miss it, because easily if they miss it, the others are gonna come and take over. It's been happening for centuries. So my goal is to be the bullhorn and make sure that the voice is loud enough for them to hear that, listen, Africa's perfect time to invest now. Where the rest of the world is fully developed, there's nothing else to do anywhere else. They're all coming to Africa now. So we wanna be here first, and we wanna be already set, stamped, and ready to go. So when they come to invest, they are investing with us. It's not where they have to do side deals with the government and do things like this. We want to be already in conversation with government to get land, build, high-rise buildings, create opportunities for corporations to come in, allow it to be their base and things of that nature. Entrepreneurs can get already in a position to where they have a business already moving. So when people come to invest, you have services that can apply to those people. So the idea is just to start now. Whatever, I don't care how small you think the idea is, I guarantee you within the next 10 years, that idea is going to be a multi-million-dollar idea, because everybody's going to be here for it.
Wonderful. On that note,
we didn't create the label to make money off artists. We created it to give them a platform to be internationally known and to be more exposed, so that way they can come back and do the same thing and help other artists. So Konvict Africa started off more as a philanthropic label, a label that we gave them small advances, we gave them the whole platform, gave them freedom, we marketed them, we promoted them, and we also created celebrities and other artists to be able to collaborate with different, depending on whatever they wanted to do, we gave them the platform to pretty much do it. But it was never one of those type of deals where you locked them in and then they signed to you forever. We wanted them to be able to be their own entrepreneurs. Our goal was to give them the platform that every major artist in the US had, so that way they can apply it to their talent and give the same, pretty much be treated fairly. Because the one thing about Africa is that we never really had an infrastructure, especially when it comes to music distribution, music publishing, things of that nature. Africa never really, created that. So we were the only company literally in Africa that actually had that format. And what we did, we just gave them the platform to do what they do. And then we gave them also our connections, our ties, and we made certain moves so they can get ahead of majority of artists that wasn't with us. So it was a choice. You can sign with us, we take you where you need to go, and then we keep a relationship forever. Or you can continue doing it yourself and just take longer. So, that's really what it boiled down to, because when we sign artists, we don't do it expecting anything back in return. There's nothing they can give me that I don't already have. All I can do is give them the opportunity and give them the platform that every major artist has, and just hope they give that to someone else or someone other that they, because the whole idea is, one hand washes the other, both hands washes the face.
Is it still like that?
I'm sorry?
Is it still like that? You are still open for people to
Still
come?
like this. I've been doing this forever. If you notice, you'd be surprised how many artists right now that we're helping, that we don't mention it because we want them to get the credit for doing it, because at the end of the day, it takes hard work to get there. And the last thing is, if we sign an artist, we don't want them to make it on the strength of me signing them. So that's why we don't announce it no more. Back then we would announce it, Konvict Music, new artists, but it makes it harder for the artist, because now when the artist comes out or he tries to push records out, the same people that would support him before we signed him don't no longer support them without wanting money. Because now it's like, oh, now you signed Akon, you can pay. No, we just giving you the platform to go. You still need to support him, because without your support, he's not gonna go anywhere. All we can do is be the bullhorn and let everyone know, but more than anything, give you the platform that every other artist have. So that way you're on iTunes, you're on Google, you're on Amazon, you're on Beats, wherever music is being played, we need to make sure your music is there. And that's what we was there for, to make sure that you will spread everywhere where every music is at.
round of applause for Akon for that.
James, I'm a face guy. So if you ask me who, I couldn't tell you who's who. I just know the songs when I hear them. And that's really the toughest question I'm asked every country I go. Because every country I go, they say, who's your favorite Ethiopian artist? Who's your favorite, Ghanaian artist? Who's your favorite Liberian artist? Every African country, we got 54, and I don't know them all. I just know a good song when it reaches the top. So the only ones that's honestly from Ghana that's reached the top really is Sarkodie.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. English. I mean, because even when you look at the development of how Ghana's developing, I mean, it's amazing. I think it was honestly perfect. Nigeria would have been too crowded, and it's just too much for Americans to take it the first trip. Nigeria is a lot to take in one trip, the first trip. Ghana's a lot more easier to deal with. It's cool, it's calm. And they also, know the culture as well too. So, but I think it could have been done anywhere in Africa. I think the most reason is that Ghanaians took the initiative to own it. You got people like Kojo, who was one of the pioneers of creating this situation. And he's in America, family's German. He's Ghanaian though, like one of the leading diasporas. And when you got people like that take initiative, and you have other Ghanaians taking initiative, the idea is great, but if you don't execute on it, because when it was announced, anybody could have took it and ran with it. Anybody could have owned that. Think about it. We have Bola Island in Senegal. It's the first slave ship from Senegal coming to Ghana. So most likely the second one probably will be, but the difference in Senegal is that we speak Wolof, we speak French, and not every American speaks French. It's harder to kind of communicate when you get there. There's not enough translators for everybody. But Ghana is a lot easier. It's a lot simpler. But more than anything, Ghana took the charge and owned it. And I want to thank Kojo, for definitely, Boris Kojo. He's amazing. Like, he really took charge, and I would definitely want to give him the credit for moving forward.
And that's why I'm here from the Essence trip with Boris and Nicole.